forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
With the clear skies across central Illinois, as well as light winds, our temperatures are falling very quickly. In fact, we're already down to 37 degrees in Champaign. Jacksonville is also in the 30s at 39, but it is 40 in Lincoln, Decatur, Paris, as well as Effingham. And we have the clear skies overlooking our State Farm Center on our Adams Memorial weather camera, part of our Roofing Dog Net. The clear skies is, again, like I said, with the calm winds, means that not only will tonight be cold, it'll also be frosty as well. So we'll probably have a little bit of some frost overnight tonight, but because of more sunshine as well as some breezy southeast winds for the day tomorrow, our temperatures actually will warm up pretty quickly into the lower and middle 60s, so it'll be a little bit warmer than what it was today. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
These people are dangerous to society now.
One family is shaken after a teenager was shot outside of his home. What witnesses say happened before the gun went off.
Plus, one group is telling the University of Illinois' chancellor to meet its demands or step down. What it wants done on campus.
It's a sound everyone heard for miles, why military jets were flying over central Illinois.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
This is a difficult and frustrating time right now.
A family of a teenager who was shot this afternoon is struggling to cope with what happened, especially since police don't know who fired the gun. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Police are investigating tonight after someone shot a 17-year-old in Rantoul. It happened this afternoon in the neighborhood of Autumn Fields Lane. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is with us. So Jennifer, are there any suspects at this point?
Jessica, police haven't arrested anybody yet. They spent the afternoon talking to witnesses as they continue to investigate who did this and why.
There was at least 10 or 12 kids that was standing out here in front of my dad's car with the window rolled down and was screaming at him, telling him, "Move, old man," and was aiming the gun at my nephew.
The trigger was pulled and 17-year-old Steven Anderson was shot outside his family's house as he was getting in the car to go to work. The bullet hit his shoulder.
That's the only thing that kept going through my mind. Is he's gonna die or is he gonna make it?
His aunt, Raven Holt, says he's expected to be okay. Witnesses told police a boy outside his house made an unprovoked comment to Anderson and then fired 3 shots at him. Then the group of kids ran away. This happened in a neighborhood that has houses filled with families. Deborah Wenrick lives right down the street.
It's rough out here. This neighborhood is one of the roughest neighborhoods in Rantoul.
Her kids were sitting outside doing homework when the shooting happened. It's making her even more cautious than she was before.
I stay secluded in my house. I mean, it's getting to where you almost don't want to leave your house anymore. Then my girls wonder why I don't let them go out.
Anderson's family wants others to learn from what happened to him.
Talk to your kids. Tell them that gun violence has to stop. Go to school, graduate, be something that's going to be successful and respectful. And these parents need to know that they need to do something with their kids, guide them in the right way.
Police say after the shooting, the group of kids ran to the north of the neighborhood. They are still investigating, so if you know anything, please call Rantoul Police. In the control room, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
I'm sure they could use any help they could get with that investigation. Jennifer, thank you.
New tonight at 10, one organization is trying to get people who were once involved with gun violence on the right path. Tonight, call-ins were held for the CU Fresh Start program. It was the organization's 6th. Police and community representatives met with those who have a gun-related history and offered them help to change their lives. 19 men showed up. They were encouraged to make a choice between putting down the guns and having a better life or end up dead or in prison. Champaign's mayor says they really do care about what happens to these men.
For me, one of the more emotional moments was watching State's Attorney Reitz take the time to individually address each of the young men and respect them in that way. That stands out to me as something that was incredibly important and maybe a catalyst for them to understand how much their lives mean to us.
This is the 3rd year for CU Fresh Start. To see the full news conference, go to WCIA.com. An armed bank robbery Tuesday in Champaign is one of the most recent crimes involving teenagers in the city. Now, organizations in Champaign-Urbana are focused on trying to find ways to stop it. Groups like Youth for Christ have events where leaders and kids can have open conversations about staying away from violence. Executive Manager Willie Comer says a prevention instead of intervention policy needs to start taking place.
That we're reaching kids 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 6th grade, 5th grade, and so we're able to turn and adjust those minds at early ages so that by the time they become juniors and seniors in high school, 16, 17, they're already on a different path.
Comer's group runs midnight basketball on Friday nights. The event reaches over 160 students. Comer also started Friday Lunch Crew. Students from Central and Centennial eat while having a deeper conversation.
A Champaign man is suing after he says police ordered a law enforcement dog to bite him after he had already surrendered. 28-year-old Matthew Hall filed a lawsuit saying he was, quote, brutally attacked this summer. It happened after a traffic stop near Prospect and Bloomington. The suit says police commanded one of their dogs to attack Hall. He says that dog bit him about 6 times. He's asking for a jury trial and damages. There's a dispute in Champaign over the Citizen Police Review Board. This comes after a council member called for a study session to talk about the Human Relations Commission absorbing the subcommittee. The Citizen Review Subcommittee is responsible for an unbiased review of the investigation of citizen complaints against the police department. Council member Clarissa Foreman said Tuesday she's not convinced the subcommittee needs to operate independently. Emily Rodriguez, the chairwoman of that subcommittee, says the group's role is indispensable.
It allows us to focus like a laser on our one key mission, and that is to restore access to law enforcement after an unfortunate interaction with Champaign Police Department.
Rodriguez fears if the citizen aspect is gone, some people who might otherwise come forward with a complaint won't. The Citizen Review Subcommittee next meets on November 13th. We reached out to Council member Clarissa Foreman for comment. We have not heard back. A group on the U of I's campus made a list of demands for the university. If they weren't met, they said they would demand the resignation of Chancellor Robert Jones.
This relates back to stories we brought you this week about anti-Semitism on campus. 4 swastikas were found within 2 weeks. The chancellor also sent an apology after concerns about anti-Semitic content in a housing meeting. The group Students for Justice in Palestine, or SJP, says that wasn't the case. They said the apology email, quote, demonizes a student presentation on Palestine and equates the concept of anti-Zionism presented by the student as being equivalent to anti-Semitism. Chancellor Jones announced the university would start doing more anti-Semitic training. SJP wants the university to go further. Their demands include explicitly saying the student presentation did not have anti-Semitic content, apologizing to housing staff for accusations of anti-Semitism, establishing a Middle East North African cultural house, and more. The group gave the university 2 days to respond. That timeline expired today. We're still waiting to hear if there was a resolution. Teaching assistants across Decatur are preparing to go on strike.
They've been working without a contract since July. The district and the union can't agree on terms for health insurance. If they can't come to a compromise by October 29th, almost 300 employees will strike.
I think that it's time that that board comes to the realization that we are not just a paid volunteer in those classrooms, and that we do have a significant impact on the education of all of our children in this district.
The district responded with a statement saying in part, quote, it is important to acknowledge the Board of Education values each member of our staff, and we strive to provide a competitive salary and benefits package for our employees while being fiscally responsible and accountable to the Decatur community that we serve. Firefighters are investigating what started a house fire in Danville today. It happened at the corner of Porter and Main Street. This video was sent to us by a viewer. Police say no one was hurt. More drivers are heading to work in the dark, and that can be dangerous during deer mating season. More than 40% of deer car crashes happen in October, November, and December. November is the highest risk month. Almost 90% of those crashes happen in rural areas. Deer tend to travel in groups, so if you see a deer across the road, the advice is don't just focus on where the deer is going, but also on where that deer came from.
Some of you heard a big boom over Champaign. We'll tell you what it was.
Plus, it's a story that can make you feel as warm as a cup of coffee. How one teacher is helping her students learn life skills.
And we sat down with one Illinois basketball player who might be the key to making it to the NCAA tournament. What Kofi Cockburn had to say.